to our Morning Throwers podcast.
I'm Nelson.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Glow.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're the fucking Morning Throners.
Welcome back for another episode of Morning Throners podcast. We got Ned 9 on deck, but before we jump in, we're going to talk about some fan comments from our YouTube and all other platforms, but I think most are coming from YouTube, so we'll let Nels take it away.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be weird because we've recorded so many podcasts like over this quarantine that this won't come out. Like if we do one a month, one a week, this won't come out for like 2 months, so we're a little late to replying for these comments, but we got a bunch from Amelia Waldman that we got to catch up on.
We're not really late. It's just going to be off timing based on our schedule.
Yeah.
We didn't screw anything up.
I'll jump into these comments. Some of them Kyle can't see, so I've been telling Kyle he's got to stay away from the comments because no major spoilers getting dropped, but people are like, oh yeah, this symbolism here, this is symbolism here. They're not really saying what it's symbolism for, but
it's stuff you just shouldn't hear about.
Yeah, and I don't blame them for saying these things. Like if they have opinions, like don't.
From Amelia, this is on the Sansa chapter that was her at the tourney. When we were talking about like was Joffrey embarrassed by Robert, she agreed with that, and she also agreed that Sandor reminds her of Two-Face, kind of like we said, just without the eye popping out. And then there's a couple comments, another one from Amelia and one from a new commenter, Glad Bandana. It's like
it's a
band,
wonder Nelson could get through
Anna.
these books, isn't it?
It's like band. It's like band, and then
you know what a bandana is, dude?
Yeah, but I don't think this is how you spell. Maybe it is. I don't know. So let me see. This one had something that Kyle can't see.
It's probably a Game of Thrones word. You can spell it however you want.
I don't know if it's a he or she, but Glad Bandana said, "Yeah, Kyle, you dummy, figure it out." So this must have been when we were saying that Kyle was being stupid for missing something in the spoiler section. But she says, I totally understand. George R. R. Martin packed so many threads in. It's tough to keep track of everything. It's funny to see Special K take the same path as Dear Ned.
Special K.
And then on the same podcast,
Full disclosure, I've always
nice
been
one.
bad at that kind of stuff in writing. So like,
I mean, I could never predict anything.
Yeah, I mean, none of us got it the first read.
I got some pretty sweet predictions in the Dunkin' Egg.
That was so you were like 7 books deep by then too, right? Like I mean, his style.
No, this Dunkin' Egg is disconnected. I didn't know shit.
Okay. I mean, you're well acquainted with George by that point. I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
so the last comment I'll go on is the same Ned chapter, and again, this one from Amelia, and she says it's interesting to see what Kyle thinks, and then she's kind of talking about the Sandor and Gregor, like when they fight really quick after.
Yeah. She
says that she thinks like part of the reason why Sandor was like being like honorable in the fight and like not going after Gregor is because the day before, Sansa was like talking like when he had that conversation with Sansa was saying like, oh, Gregor's no true knight, like you were being gallant. So like even though he seemed like he didn't give a shit what Sansa was saying, like maybe that had some reason, like it was like in his head.
That's
like,
good insight. Yeah, no, yeah, just kind of one of those things that stayed in the back of his head.
So we'll talk about some of these other other comments when we get into the spoiler section, but that'll be it before we get into this chapter. So take it away, guys. What do you have?
We start in the brothel, and we're actually finishing up in the brothel. I wish we had a little bit more details from what was
that would
going
be a
on,
little bit cool.
It kind of confused me at first because
like,
he's like, he met Littlefinger in the common room, and then they're like, he's leaving. I'm like, wait, he didn't do anything.
His one buddy's playing strip poker on the side and losing badly. Jory's just kind of
but he's got the girl's
window.
chest open.
He ain't seeing nothing. It's just unbuttoned. He's like basically naked, and
She's unbuttoned at the skirt, dude. I'm thinking her tits are out.
Yeah.
I thought it said unbuttoned at the shirt.
He's enjoying the view.
Ned said she had big boobies.
Jory's just chilling on the side, creeping.
Her shift to the waist. What is a shift? Forced to unbutton her shift to the waist.
Yeah, maybe that's just what kept their shit together back in the day. And then we learn more about what Ned was actually doing in the brothel a little bit later as he's reflecting through the rain. But
yeah, so as they're leaving, Ned's like, my business is done here, and Jory goes to get Will, who's like one of the younger guardsmen, and he's like, go get the horses ready. And I have a couple quotes here that are just like little japes by Littlefinger that aren't really important, but I think they're funny. So as they're leaving, Littlefinger says, "Your business," he said lightly, "or Robert's. They say the hand dreams the king's dreams, speak with the king's voice, and rules with the king's sword. Does that also mean you fuck with the king's—" "Lord Baelish," Ned interrupted, "you presume too much. I am not ungrateful for your help, but it might have taken us years to find this brothel without you. It does not mean I intend to endure your mockery, and I am no longer the king's hand." Littlefinger's just a goat.
I don't know about that. You said that about like 8 characters.
I think
already.
he's involved.
I like
guys.
the little
It's
jinx.
the setup at the end before you get too pumped on him.
Well, I don't care. I mean, he's obviously a little slimy bastard. I just think he's funny.
We'll just add him to the list of Nelson's goat characters because he's got 6.
Him, Tyrion, who else right now?
Arya.
Arya.
Tyrion and Varys is pretty goat too. Like Tyrion, Littlefinger, and Varys are the funniest, I think. Arya's not that funny.
Okay, so you're doing goat just as the funniest now?
Yeah,
Well,
like
he
the
just
ones who have,
described
like,
every character.
it's hard
The
for a
folk,
book
the
to like
funniest
make you
of all
like
time?
laugh out loud, and I feel like Littlefinger is the one that does that to me when I'm reading these.
I feel like you said the same thing about Tyrion. Literally 2 chapters.
That's why they're both goats.
But you said he's the only one that does it to you.
Shut up. I've been drinking. So they see Will. Will's finishing up with the whore in the stables. They saddle up and get ready to go. And another little jape by Littlefinger. Chitaya runs. How do you say that name?
Shatana?
Shataya. I think you got it good enough.
Is there a Y? I don't have it in front of me. I,
There's
don't,
a
I
Y.
remember it's CH. Shataya?
Chitaya runs a choice establishment, Littlefinger said as they rode. "I'd have a mind to buy it. Brothels make much sounder investments than ships, I've found. Whores seldom sink. And when they are boarded by pirates, why, the pirates pay good coin like everyone else." Lord Peter chuckled at his own wit, and Nelson chuckled along with him.
Dude, grow up. We didn't have to read that quote.
You knew he was going to be about it. It mentioned a pirate.
No,
And
we
so-
might have well just read this whole chapter because it was so short, and Nelson's just going to read every quote in it. So moving on, Ned's just starting to think throughout the rain, and started thinking about what actually happened in the brothel.
Before that, he thinks of
Or is it
a memory of Lyanna
Lyanna?
first.
Okay. Well, it kind of ties in. Like, this memory ties into what happens.
Well,
here.
yeah, because Lyanna's saying that, like, Robert...
Never
She
would
says-
have been faithful in marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "Hey."
What's Lyanna's age compared to Ned? Are they like a year apart? Are they pretty close?
I don't know.
She's
Yeah, I
got to
don't
be
know.
older, right?
No, she's younger.
Oh, she's younger.
Is she younger?
Okay.
I think he said
I thought
something
she
about
was
her
older.
being really young during this
I don't
conversation.
know why, but I thought she was younger. I don't.
I feel like in this chapter he says something about like how young she was. It's confusing though because he goes from talking about Lyanna to
The
talking
girl
about.
had been
Oh,
so
you know what? No,
young,
no, that's
Ned
he's
had
talking
not
about the
dared to
mom.
ask.
Yeah,
That's the mom.
yeah, because he's talking about how she's a virgin. But the thing that Lyanna said, like Ned's like, basically Ned says it doesn't matter what he did before
Lyanna is younger than Ned.
you guys like it doesn't matter what he said before you guys get married, like or what he did before you guys get married. Once you're married, like he's a good man, he'll be true. And Lyanna smiled and says, "Love is sweet, dearest Ned, but it cannot change a man's nature."
So deep for a 14-year-old, you know?
Is that true?
Look at
That's like it's like the opposite of you can't turn a whore into a housewife.
Hoe and a housewife.
But that's kind of what Lyanna's saying. It's like you can't turn Robert, who's a whore, into a housewife, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's definitely what she said. And
And
yeah, he
there's
already
proof
had
everywhere.
a bastard in the Vale. And then I don't even know if Ned
Has a
asked
whole litter
Littlefinger
of
yet, like
bastards.
how many he actually has, or if
Littlefinger never says. He asks him, and Littlefinger says more than you.
more than you. Well, that was a
More than
funnier
you,
line
bro.
than that was a much funnier line than the
What?
ships breaking.
I
Yeah,
think
no
it was
doubt about
more like there's so many that nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Robert doesn't even know.
the guy from Storm's End, the twins on Castle Rock that ended up getting killed by Cersei, and the mom sold to slavery.
The one in the Vale, these two in King's Landing, Gendry, and this one.
And then who else knows?
That's like 8 or 9. Yeah, plus whoever.
The best part
whatever
is
else.
it's like, all right, his brother gets married. Like he banged in the marriage bed before.
he bangs his wife's niece, bangs his sister-in-law's niece in the marriage bed while like the feast is still
While the party's going,
feast is
he
still
got her
goes
pregnant.
to attorney at his father-in-law's castle, like impregnates a girl.
There are some people who like have to go to like fertility doctors to have children, and Robert is just like he's shooting 100% over here. So Jeff, he starts talking. Ned starts thinking about the girl from the brothel. So what's the deal there?
So the girl's just like, oh my god, she looks so much like him. Like, look at her nose, look at her hair. Like, tell him he looks like her, and tell him I haven't been with anybody else, and we're waiting for him to come back here, and just wants to send all these like positive messages through Ned to Robert that the baby's good and looks like him and everything like that.
And Ned promises to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Ned's a man of his word, so he probably
said
would.
that.
But
He said
I don't
He
think
says
he,
like
I don't
he-
think.
he-
I think Ned says that knowing that he's trying to go to his room, pack up, and leave. Like, I don't know
Maybe,
if he's
but-
actually saying goodbye to Robert. If
well, he literally says like this is my curse. Like when I promise, like Robert can promise somebody something, and the next morning completely forget about it. He's like me. I always keep my word. So
Yeah. He's gonna
So
do
I
something.
think-
It's gonna come up eventually.
I hope it comes up in front of Cersei. I don't remember, but I think that would be a great scene.
That would be sweet. She'd be so fucking pissed though.
The kid,
So also
no,
the
he'd be
girl-
sentencing that little girl to death. Then
Yeah, she would probably.
That's very true.
Especially if what Littlefinger says about the twins from
well,
Castle
and
Rock
he was
is true.
trying to save Dany last chapter too, another little girl. So he wouldn't. I
Yeah,
think-
that's true. So the next he thinks of John. He like sees John's face and thinks of it as a younger version of his own, and he wonders like why if gods hate bastards so much, why do they make men so lustful? He has a bunch of like scattered thoughts here. Like that's like a one paragraph that doesn't connect to anything else. Then he says, they talk about the bastard that went to Renly. That's one we talked about from Stannis' wife's cousin. The Castle Rock one. And then Ned asks Littlefinger, like, why is Jon Arryn, like, going around looking at Gendry, looking at this bastard? And Littlefinger just says, oh, Robert probably told him to take care of him.
yeah, but you could do that without going to see them.
There's more to it. Yeah, no, I didn't buy that line. I don't.
And Ned even asked, Ned asks him, like,
Why would you die?
then
over
why
that?
kill him then? Yeah.
Littlefinger just plays. I mean, I don't know. He like pretends like he doesn't know.
He
anything,
chirps
like
in his
he's-
ear, you know.
But he doesn't say anything here. Like, why wouldn't he? You feel like he would have a clever Littlefinger come back, or
Well, he does. He says, now I see, Lord Arryn learned that his grace had filled the bellies of some whores and fishwives, and for that he had to be silenced. Small wonder. Allow a man like that to live, next he'll start to blurt out things like the sun rises in the east. Basically saying, like, there's no reason to kill somebody who knew Robert had bastards. Everyone fucking knew Robert had bastards.
yeah.
So he doesn't really give any insight, but he
He just makes fun of him.
just kind of like he kind of like dodges the question almost. Yeah. So then it says Ned thinks about Rhaegar Targaryen for the first time in a while and wonders if he went to brothels, and for some reason he doubts it. And then all of a sudden they're surrounded.
And all of a sudden, there's Lannister men all around him, the crimson and gold. There's
not too
what?
many, only 20, but they only have 4.
It
3.
is 20
4 plus
against.
Littlefinger.
So
Yeah.
here's a question. So they had Jory, Whale, whatever you called him. Will, that's what I was calling him. But then Hayward, he was the dude playing poker at the beginning.
Yeah, the guy playing
Yeah.
poker.
Is that different than Will or Whale?
Heward. Yeah, Heward. Because it's weird. Ned does say 3 verse 20, but I guess he's not counting himself. Because it's 4 with it, including himself.
Okay,
Because I guess
'Cause
they
it says
say
3
kill
then.
my men.
not
I-
him.
I skipped
so he
ahead,
knew he
yeah.
was safe, but I mean, I think he knew he was gonna fight though.
No doubt.
Yeah, he was
So
definitely.
that's why I was confused. I thought Will was Hayward, whatever he says.
Heward?
Yeah, no, I think they're two different people because he's in there, and then when they leave the brothel, Jory says he's gonna go get Will at the stables.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I was more confused.
Yeah. So then Jamie starts talking. And is like blah blah blah. What happened? And
Where's my
Littlefinger's-
brother?
Where's
Littlefinger's like,
my
"This is
brother?
This is the hand, and Jamie's like,
Was the
this
hand?
is not the hand. He's not. I don't know what he is anymore. You want to read? You two read the Jamie and Ned quote here.
He knows what he's doing.
Ned said calmly. Jamie Lannister smiled.
Quite true. I'm looking for my brother. You remember my brother, don't you, Lord Stark? He was with us at Winterfell. Fair-haired, mismatched eyes, sharp of tongue, a short man.
I remember him well.
It would seem he has met some trouble on the road. My lord father is quite vexed. You would not perchance have any notion of who might have wished my brother ill, would you?
Your brother has been taken at my command to answer for his crimes,
Ned Stark said. Littlefinger groaned in dismay.
My lords.
Sir Jaime ripped his longsword from his sheath and urged his stallion forward.
Show me your steel, Lord Eddard. I'll butcher you like Ares if I must, but I'd sooner you died with a blade in your hand.
He gave Littlefinger a cool, contemptuous glance.
Lord Baelish, I'd leave here in some haste if I did not care to get bloodstains on my costly clothing.
I like how Jaime is, like, so confident here.
I mean,
Like-
it's 20 against 4.
He thinks he's the best swordsman in the kingdom.
Well, yeah, but just, like,
He
it's,
jumped
like,
in the rain.
like, he's obviously pissed, right, about this, but it's not like he comes up, like, screaming and hollering. Like, he's, like, kind of, like...
But he's also, reputation-wise, as the best swordsman in the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, but he's, like, he's being witty about it. Like, he could just come up and be like, I'm gonna fuck you up. But no, he's like, do you remember my brother? A short man.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
he's just a cocky douchebag. We knew that.
And what does he mean when he says, Kyle, question for you. What does he mean when he says, I'll butcher you like Ares, but I'd sooner you die with blade in hand?
Well, because he backstabbed Ares. Didn't have to fight him.
Did that? I didn't know if we do that already.
Well,
Yeah, wasn't he like
Or
playing
if this was,
he
like, the first
protecting
hint of
him,
it.
and then he just turned around and killed him pretty much?
Yeah, I just didn't know if that had come up yet, so I was kind of...
Are you watching the spoiler section, bro?
I read all the comments.
Yeah, you're a bunch of alt accounts. That's why they all love Kyle.
Yeah, they're me. I wrote all the comments, yeah.
So Littlefinger dips. Littlefinger's taking that chance as soon as he gets when he's like, you better get out of here. You're going to get blood on your clothes. He's like, all right, peace.
Well, he's
And
also
he's like-
not wearing a weapon.
Yeah.
I
And
wouldn't
he says,
assume.
so he says he's going to get the city watch.
This was
So
he was in on this shit.
you think so?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Just first off, how easy he gets out of there. Like, he's just gone. And like the way he was answering Ned's questions, like how would Jamie know where they were? Let's start there.
I mean, it seems like there's a lot of spies. I don't know if Jamie's the type of person that has spies, but if like does people tell him that the Queen and like Varys and Littlefinger are all watching him? So you assume the Queen probably could have told Jamie. But I'm not saying I don't think Littlefinger's in it, but I don't know if there's a ton of proof of it.
And Littlefinger's he's a goat.
He is the
He's
goat.
a goat.
Yeah, he's a
Three
piece of
goats.
shit.
Not.
That's what I was trying to say.
It would be a sneaky move to do.
But I mean, like, dude's just gone, and then he shows back up like an hour later or whatever, or morning. Like,
No, I don't think it was much longer.
Can't be morning. Ned was pretty fucked up. He said he could see the bone.
I
Coming
feel
out
like
of
they
his
were
leg.
pretty close to the.
okay.
I don't think it would have taken them very long to get there and back. Ned just doesn't recall.
Well, so then, pretty much, Jamie's like, "No, I'm not gonna kill you. I can't do that."
Yeah, he's because Ned says.
But I can
"If you
kill your
me-"
men.
Ned says, "If you kill me, your brother's dead." And Jamie's like, "I doubt it. I don't think Cat would do that." But that what's funny, what's interesting here is he says like, even I'm not afraid of like doing anything to you. Like even if you go and tell Robert, I don't think he's gonna be pissed. Right?
Yeah. No.
Do you think that's true? Like Robert wouldn't be pissed at Jamie for hurting Ned? I mean, they did just get into a fight.
Well, it's not even
Is that what
hurting
Jamie's
Ned.
banking on?
It's just fucking with Ned at this point. Nobody
Even
got
killing
hurt
his
yet.
men. You don't think Robert would be pissed about Jamie killing his men?
He didn't get there yet. He didn't kill anybody yet. He didn't tell him that he was gonna kill him yet. If he
But
just
Locked
it's
them
in
in
his
the road
mind.
and threatened
It's in
them.
his
Yeah.
mind.
that's what I'm saying.
It's like all in the same breath that he says this. He's like, I don't think Cat would do it, but I'm not willing to whisk it.
No, that's not all in the same breath. Because he goes through all this stuff and he's like, so I suppose I'll let you run back to Robert to tell him how I frightened you. I wonder if he'll care. Jamie pushed back his hair, and then when he went behind the line of swords, he said, Traegar, see that no harm comes of him. And then,
He says, like, right after, yeah, he says,
but then he
"Run
says,
back to Ned."
as you say, my lord. And then the next sentence, like I said, I think he meant, like, I'll let you leave and run.
Yeah, I agree with Kyle Nelson. I don't think.
I think he was kind of
don't agree.
pushing
He
him in
knew-
a trap.
Jamie
like,
knew people were somebody
I
was
also
fucking
couldn't
dying.
hear you
here.
there. Huh?
Jamie knew somebody was fucking dying here.
Yeah, but
Like, when
Ned
he
didn't. That's not what he was saying.
He's saying, I'll let you go back to Robert, and I'm
But
not
he
afraid of
didn't
what's gonna
say,
happen."
"Hey, kill his men," and then I'll let you go talk to Robert.
He was
I
saying,
don't-
yeah, I agree with them.
When he gets there, before any words are spoken, he knows somebody's gonna
Sure,
die.
but he never said that until right before he left.
I don't care. In the middle of the conversation, he says, "You're going to go back to Robert. At the end of this, you're going to go back to Robert." And that's what
Okay.
happens, right? But he knows people are going to die. So he's not afraid of what's going to happen after Ned goes back to Robert and says that people
I see.
are dead.
I see.
I'm
what you're
sure
saying.
Jamie wouldn't have any problem fighting Robert if Robert stepped
Robert's
to him.
the goddamn king!
Yeah, Jamie doesn't care. He already killed one.
Like in a 1v1, I get that, but
He's
you
a
can't just
Kingsguard,
fucking
right?
kill the king when there's
So what
everyone...
what's he gonna do? Jamie's gonna be surrounded by Lannister men. They're gonna fight.
I just
There's
think
just
it's
as
kind
many
of weird that
Lannister men
Jamie is not
as the
afraid of
city
this
watcher.
I just think it's it's weird that Jamie's not afraid of being reprimanded.
He's
Like,
higher than
Jamie
that.
gives a fuck.
He's more powerful.
Okay. I guess it's 3-1, so...
Shadow King.
You're wrong. That's the great thing about odds.
I don't know if that's...
Majority rules, bud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
majority
bro.
rules. Yeah, so then he tells him to kill his men and leave unharmed. Do you want to talk about the battle, or Jeff, do you want to read it?
So like right away, Jory no, let's just read it. I don't remember detail for detail. I feel like it's pretty cool. But Jory
Yeah.
fucking is a boss.
Yeah, Jory's killing people left and right.
No! Ned Stark screamed, clawing for his sword. Jamie was already cantering off down the street as he heard Will shout. Men closed from both sides. Ned rode one down, cutting at phantoms in red cloaks who gave way before him. Jory Castle put his heels into his mount and charged. A steel-shod hoof caught a Lannister guardsman in the face with a sickening crunch. A second man reeled away, and for an instant Jory was free. Will cursed as they pulled him off his dying horse, swords slashing in the rain. Ned galloped to him, bringing his long sword down on Traeger's helm. The jolt of impact made him grit his teeth. Traeger stumbled to his knees, his lion crest sheared in half, blood running down his face. Heward was hacking at the hands that had seized his bridle when a spear caught him in the belly. Suddenly Jory was back among them, a red rain flying from his sword. "No!" Ned shouted. "Jory, away!" Ned's horse slipped under him and came crashing down in the mud. There was a moment of blinding pain and the taste of blood in his mouth. He saw them cut the legs from Jory's mount and drag him to the earth, swords rising and falling as they closed in around him. When Ned's horse lurched back to his feet, he tried to rise, only to fall again, choking on his scream. He could see the splintered bone poking through his calf. It was the last thing he saw for a time. The rain came down and down and down. When he opened his eyes again, Lord Eddard Stark was alone with his dead. His horse moved closer, caught the rank scent of blood, and galloped away. Ned began to drag himself through the mud, gritting his teeth at the agony in his leg. It seemed to take years. Faces watched from candlelit windows, and people began to emerge from alleys and doors, but no one moved to help. Littlefinger and the city watch found him there in the street, cradling Jory Castle's body in his arms.
So, we only get one Jory kill there, the hoof, but he comes back with a bloody sword, so I'm giving him at least 2.
Yeah,
he had to
and I
have
mean
killed
he's not
somebody
gonna
with a sword.
win because he's dead.
So, what this reminded me of is, that's true. What this reminded me of is when,
So I mean, give him 3 if you want. I don't care.
when Arya was leaving Ned's chambers after she saw Varys and Illyrio, and she's asking Desmond, like, how many guards does he have? You wouldn't let anyone kill him. And he's like, oh, there's 50. And she's like, well, the Lannisters have a ton. And he's like, she's like, but he says every Northman is worth 10 Southern swords. It's like, it was 20-4 here. Technically, by that statistics, you should win a 4v40 fight, especially on horseback.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they definitely didn't live up to the Norse standards there.
No.
But I also feel like they were
They were jumped in the ring.
armed with, yeah, it doesn't matter. The guy said 10-1. They should have easily won.
Doesn't matter if it's in the rain or not.
I would say my one thing would be that they had spears, so they were just probably like stabbing at the horses, and then once the horses were fucked, they were stabbing them.
Ned even thinks it, but like their best move is just to
Charge
everyone
yeah,
charge forward.
I mean, if 4 horses charged at the 10 standing man, they might get one.
Especially if
like
Ned goes first, right? Where maybe they're taking shots at his horse, but nobody's taking shots at him. They're probably gonna get out of the way.
Yeah.
Are they all
And then
horsed?
everyone
Why,
just
like,
follow
why
through.
not
They're
just
all horsed.
keep going?
That's what Ned says. Is like we might have a chance at a charge, but then everything happens too fast. Like he doesn't have a chance to like give
Well,
command.
they surrounded him. They were like behind Will and stuff. So that's what happened.
Yeah, but in a charge, you just make everybody go forward.
I know, but they got attacked from behind, and he wasn't ready for that.
I gotcha. All right, so Ned basically gets taken back to the castle from there. He's losing consciousness, going in and out, and then basically wakes up in the Red Keep in a dark room with Grand Maester Pycelle giving him milk of the poppy
And boiling wine.
and boiled wine. Well, that's what he heard Pycelle yelling to somebody.
I'd take some milk of the poppy.
Because, like, they haven't, it hasn't happened
It's
yet,
basically
but, like,
heroin.
they use boiled wine like
I
hydrogen
don't think that's-
peroxide.
Okay, so they're gonna.
It's morphine.
They just pour boiled wine on top of whatever's hurt.
Gotcha.
Like, right? They do that all the time in these, right? I guess they haven't done it yet, but
Yeah, it's gonna be a very common thing.
that would suck, dude.
I feel like twofold. The alcohol is trying to clean the wound, and then you burn it. Try and what is
But, like,
that?
a-
the
Well,
Does
word?
water
boiling like
cauterize
is
it?
sanitizing,
Do
isn't
they
it?
do they pour it on while it's boiling?
Yeah.
Guess like yeah.
Would
right
that
after-
Pretty
cauterize
fucking-
it?
Yeah, that's the word. I was
Fucking
thinking,
hurt.
cauterize.
That sounds dumb.
It
as
would
shit.
hurt, but, like, you cauterize with, like, metal.
I'm
I
sure.
think it's for
anything
cleaning
that-
purposes.
Probably.
I think it's two. I thought it was twofold. I mean, it wouldn't have.
It
to
could
hot.
be. It doesn't. Yeah. Well, no, I think like the boiling water cleans the infection out or whatever.
Boiling
I don't
wine.
know. Boiling wine. That's right. Sorry. And the alcohol, double dose.
All right, Kyle, so what's next? Is Ned still getting out of here?
I don't see how he can. I mean, I think he's trapped there now.
He was going to get on a ship.
I know, but he's got a fucking busted leg. He's gonna be here longer than.
So
he
what's
wanted to.
happening? Remember, all the people in the comments are calling you stupid, so
Come on, Special Cat.
get this one right.
What do you mean? What's happening? That's kind of vague. I guess.
What's going to happen next?
What do you mean?
What's Robert's reaction? If you don't think Robert's going to be pissed at Jamie, what's Robert's reaction?
So, I think he's gonna tell Ned he deserved it. That's what I think's gonna happen. I think Robert kind of has probably some idea of what went on with John, but I don't think he was the leader of it.
Well, even when we had the conversation argument earlier about like, why is Jamie not afraid of repercussions? Maybe because he's not the aggressor here, right? He's the retaliator.
When he knows something too.
What do you mean?
I think Jamie probably knows something about Robert. Whatever that this whole thing is leading to, Jamie probably already knows the answer.
Well, I think it's more of a like Jamie thinks that yeah, sure, Robert might be pissed, but he can always be like, dude, he took my brother, and he even said it was his idea, right? Like he had it coming. That's what if I'm Jamie, that's what I'd be thinking.
I don't know that
I'm not
Robert cares
sure
enough about Tyrion though.
I agree, but I don't. It's an excuse. It's some type of excuse. I don't understand what you're saying about he knows something.
Like he has something on Robert.
Jamie,
Like
you think
blackmail.
Jamie does?
Jamie has blackmail on Robert. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think Jamie just has like his sister and thinks that. I think the Lannisters think they're untouchable because they're
Pompous
funding
assholes.
the crown. They're
Yeah.
just pompous assholes.
That's
and
true.
They're in all the
Crown
positions
6
of
million
power.
in debt.
Literally, yeah. I mean, literally, the Queen, Warden of the East, Warden of the West.
Yeah, yeah, they got it all. All right. Anything else, Kyle? Any other predictions?
Yeah, like I mean that's such a vague thing. I don't know even.
How do you think Ned reacts to his dead men when he wakes up from his stupor?
Well, I mean he's not gonna be too happy about that. Obviously, I mean Jory was his dude, so I think stuff is gonna happen, and he's gonna have to get out of there because he's gonna have to go north because he's gonna have to get an army. I think this is when they start building forces, but I don't think he's
See,
getting out
Nelson
of there
just doesn't
anytime
know how to
soon.
ask the questions. That's what you need to ask.
There you go. Good
That's
work.
good, yeah.
He's just
Good
like,
work,
what do you
Jeff.
think?
Way to
And
facilitate.
you need to be probably a little more pointed, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
I mean, like when Ned found out about Tyrion getting taken, and we're like, "What do you think's gonna happen?" You're like, "I don't know. That's so vague." Like, you could say he's gonna get attacked, he's gonna get retaliated against, or he's gonna tell Robert. Those are my two options, right? And you're like, "I don't know. That's so vague." Like, like a dragon's gonna come out of nowhere and eat Ned? Like, that's not. You don't have to take something like ridiculous. A lot of this is like pretty straightforward. What's gonna happen next, or at least like maybe a twist gets thrown out, but it seems like there's a logical prediction to be made for some of this.
Yeah, and some of it
This
I
one
guess
actually, I
feels
don't
like
know.
you're baiting me into like crazy conspiracy. Like I have to nail
That's kind of
these
what I want. Yeah,
major
that's kinda what I
points, and
want.
like that sounds impossible. So like when Jeff asked his question of like, it was like a specific thing that was going to happen. I don't know.
All right, I'll ask a more pointed question.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to be.
Are you any closer to figuring out what John Aaron died for after this chapter?
There's got to be a kid that matters somewhere. I think he's going to find a child that has some claim to something or is to the wrong person.
To the wrong.
Yeah, just somebody that's not cool with Cersei in some way. I don't know how to.
Like maybe another like High Lord.
Yeah, or like some clan that she's not cool with. Yeah, like I think it's got to be. There's got to be a kid somewhere that matters that Robert might not know about yet.
There's a good shot. I feel like he probably doesn't.
He probably doesn't.
Yeah, and so that's why it's so important that somebody find out. So what was that book he had? That he got. John Aaron had.
It was like the lineages of all the houses.
History of the old houses.
There's got to be somebody in there.
Well, that's it. Remember that book? It said everybody in that book had died 100 years.
Yeah, but they have kids. Got to be somebody in that lineage.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
But when we talked about that, we did say that nobody alive and nobody alive now was alive when anybody in that book was alive. So it's like old.
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm saying. So this is like somebody that has some serious claim to some power. Because they're such an old family.
Gotcha. Okay. I like it. I like the predictions.
Yeah, there we go. Try and be a little more bold.
I like it, though.
The fans are going to love it.
Fuck it, though, man.
I know, unless they think I'm stupid as hell. So, whatever.
Well, they probably
I think they'll love that, too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's not fair. Yeah. They all are coming from that place, too.
They're coming from hindsight, so it's not fair.
You are all alone here, Kyle.
What?
You are all alone here. Everyone, all the fans probably know what's going on.
Speaking of fans, I was talking to two old friends from high school, and I think we got 2 new subscribers on iTunes.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Tell them to give us a review.
One of them actually tweeted at us, too, but for whatever reason, it doesn't pop up on our notifications, so.
Did you give him $5?
He about to get. Yeah, Jeff's just like, hey, if you tweet out this random Twitter account, you get
Yeah, but so I bullshitted and told her, but
hey, I'll
for
take
whatever
it. That's
reason,
what we need.
the notifications.
Now everyone who follows her is gonna see that tweet. That's what we're talking about. $5 for a promotion. That's
but now the notification never popped up, so you never saw it. I was waiting for you to be like, dude, someone tweeted at us, and it never, for whatever reason, it doesn't show up in our mentions.
Well, because we both have access to the Twitter account, if one of us opens a notification, it goes away for the other.
It wasn't there for me though.
Oh,
it never showed up there, but I saw it on my personal.
Oh, I was on it on the computer. Sorry, guys.
You don't
it would still be there. It just wouldn't be a new notification. Learn how Twitter works.
Is her Venmo link in the tweet?
No, she asked for a guest appearance.
What does that mean?
She wanted to do an episode
instead of $5.
Tell her to send in an audio recording of a question.
Tell her that'll cost her $5.
That'll deal. All right, time to say bye to Kyle.
All right,
Kyle. I'll see you later,
bye,
bud.
Kyle.
We'll see you in the next episode.
I got some shit to talk to Nelson about. I got some fire coming at Nelson.
All right, later on, guys. Look forward to listening to it next week.
I got dibs on first fire at Nelson.
All right, I'm done.
Bye.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
See you later, Kyle. It was great hanging out, friend. And now on to the spoiler section of Ned 9. Guys, what are your hot takes on this?
I don't have anything. I don't even think we should do a spoiler section.
I got a big comment, and I can't wait to say it.
All right, what you got?
Let me just turn the pages back a year. I hope someone
the
gets
cops
that
and
comment.
lawyers wouldn't dare touch any of you. What happened?
What happened? Your balls fall off?
Your balls fall off?
All right, so if anyone's actually been listening to us and listening to us closely, or had the podcast long enough to get into the spoiler section, you would have heard Nelson say, whenever Ned thinks about Lyanna's promise, he immediately thinks of who, Glow?
Daenerys.
Daenerys Targaryen, and not
Jon Snow.
But in this
he didn't think
chapter
of the
here,
he didn't think of the promise once. He thought of Lyanna.
bullshit, it is
No.
mentioned.
Lyanna talking
Dude,
about bastards.
Snow is sandwiched in between Lyanna and Rhaegar, dude.
That's true.
And thinks
But
about Rhaegar having bastards.
She's talking about bastards, not about. And the thing is, John's supposed to be trueborn,
Dude, he
right?
says
That's the whole
her-
thing.
That's
says
the
her
show is
guardian.
Trueborn.
Okay,
The show
I'm
says
just saying.
Trueborn. I don't know
Okay,
if it's
keep
Trueborn.
going. You want to read? You want to read that quote about Jon Snow, Jeff?
Yeah, I gotta find it though.
And tell me the last phrase of that sentence.
Oh god.
So he's taking
is this
care
your
of
bullshit
Rhaegar's
comeback?
bastard, and he thinks, huh,
Read the quote
is
about
he
Jon.
like Robert where he's having a bunch of bastards everywhere, just like him? No.
Read the sentence about Jon.
Riding through the rainy night, Ned saw Jon Snow's face in front of him, so like a younger version of his own.
Whoa, that's so weird. His own face. It's like it looks like it's his kid.
Oh my god.
It's like
That's
it looks
such a
like it's
weak-
his kid.
Such a weak rebuttal.
A younger version of his own.
So now Ned is John's kid? Or John's Ned's kid?
I said it's. I always said Jon was either Ned's kid or Brandon's kid. One of the two. Anna Dane.
She brings up the promise here. Oh no, fuck, that's the promise. Let me find where the fuck.
Yeah,
we're talking.
she's talking about.
I'm
the
not on the
promise
right
to
fucking page.
Yeah, you're in the wrong fucking chapter if you're trying to look for a Lyanna promise.
No, it's here.
No, Lyanna. The only thing Lyanna
It's
talks about
fucking
is
here, I
bastards.
remember.
About Robert having bastards.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's the only conversation about.
There's no
There's
promise.
no promise.
So you want to come at me again, Jeff? How the
Dude,
one
shut
time he
up.
talks
You know
about
I'm
Ned,
right.
it says he looks
you know
like
I'm
him.
right. When you said he brings up Lyanna, he thinks of fucking Danny, and there wasn't
you're right,
one
you're
thought
right.
of
There's
Daenerys
no Danny
here.
here. You're right.
Suck it. Any sandwich in between
Bitch.
Lyanna and Rhaegar. He's definitely referencing
L
that.
plus R equals J, not L plus R equals D.
The next Ned chapter, we definitely get a Lyanna because he has fever dreams. Yeah, so I knew you guys were going to say that, and I saw that he said his face. Face so like his own.
No, that's a horrible.
What do you mean? It's a
So
horrible.
like his own, it's his nephew. Of course he has a similar face.
I don't know.
It's because he's Benjen and fucking Lyanna's kid.
There you go.
He thought of the promises he'd made Lyanna as she lay dying, and the price he'd pay to keep them. Shut the fuck up, Nelson!
I don't
Where was that
believe
at?
Let me read it. I will, Ned had promised her. That was his curse. Robert would swear undying love and forget them before evenfall.
Oh,
But
shit.
Ned Stark kept his vows.
Oh,
He thought of the
shit.
promises he'd made Lyanna as she lay dying. Say you're fucking sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Nelson, fuck off.
I mean, another good.
R plus L equals
Another good
J.
thing is the sentence right before. Like, this is a point for you
Oh
guys.
my.
No,
yeah,
this is a
okay.
point for you guys. The sentence right before the paragraph about Jon is when Robert says he was good to you, and Ned says, or she says he was always good to me, truly, and good to you, Ned thought hollowly. I will tell him, child. I promise you. Varys shall not go wanting. So he says, I promise you in the sentence before, and the next sentence is the Jon one. Again, that promise isn't to Lyanna, but he does put the I promise you right before the mention of Jon.
Yeah. So he did mention Lyanna's promise.
It's a
R plus L
welcome.
equals J.
It's a false
R
positive.
equals
Read closer,
J minus
Nelson.
L.
he's trying to
Read closer, Nelson.
he's trying to throw everyone off
I
the
want
trail.
that in your notes right now. I want you to put a bookmark in.
I
Ned
have the Jon.
Talks about Lyanna's promise and thinks of Jon, not Danny.
I think I actually
in
have a whole
capitals,
separate note for
and not
for
Danny in
Lyanna's.
capital.
And then under that you say Danny's the actually goat character.
I do have a whole note called Tower of Joy: The Promise, Jon Snow.
There you
See,
go.
I know what the people think. I put it all in the same note. I know what the people think. I'm just trying to tell you guys what I think.
I'm just telling you what George writes.
We're just telling you you're wrong.
So, couple less important things. Where does this start out?
Shataya's brothel.
Give me some information about Shataya from later on.
She ends up hiding fucking
Sansa?
Tyrion's girl.
Kinda.
Yeah, no, it is.
Tyrion
Tyrion's
comes into
girl-
Shataya's
the
brothel.
midget girl?
No,
No.
The dwarf
Tyrion's
girl?
whore.
Shay.
Forgot her name,
Oh,
Shay.
shit, that's right.
Tyrion comes into Shataya's brothel, goes upstairs with his daughter every time, or with her daughter, Alayaya, if you remember her. He goes upstairs with Alayaya. They close the door, lock it. Alayaya chills on the bed, and Tyrion goes through a secret door in the dresser, through like a bunch of tunnels and shit over to where Shay is. But yeah, he keeps visiting this brothel and then sneaking out the back basically to go see Shay. And then in the show, Cersei says like, "I found your whore," and it's Roz. I think the same thing happens here, but it's Alayaya. Yeah.
Do we even? No one's ever mentioned Roz. Roz isn't a character in.
No, not in the show, not in the books.
In the book.
It's she's kind of like a combination of Shataya and Alayaya because she like kind of runs Littlefinger's
Does
brothel.
Joffrey
It's true.
crossbow somebody to the bed?
I'm not sure. The
It's
thing
not
is, we
shown.
don't get Joffrey chapters, so we would never know. We might hear about it
Yeah,
from a
that's true.
Tyrion chapter. But yeah, Roz plays Shataya and Alayaya in like the same character, basically. The one who gets beaten up for Tyrion.
But I feel like Shay is like so much faster in the castle, and like I feel like they show up and she's Sansa's handmaid like immediately. I don't remember them
I
having
barely
to go
remember
to the
this.
brothel very often. But I
Is
remember.
she- I don't
Roz
even
working
think
with
she's.
Littlefinger
Is she
at times.
Sansa's handmaid in the book?
Yeah. Well, Shay's working in the castle. Maybe Jean.
She
Pools.
is. For some reason, I thought she was something else, but you might be right. I know she
I
definitely
think she
is in
starts
the
as like a
show.
dishwasher or a kitchen maid, and then
I
she
think
works
she's
her
like a
way
maid for like
into-
Lady Tanda or like Lady Stokeworth, like the simple girl who gets raped in the. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't. I thought she was what. I thought she did Sansa's hair.
That's definitely in the show. Like, again,
Yeah,
it's
you're
hard.
right. I might be
I'm just
mixing
getting.
that too.
Yeah.
But I know
that's
she
the tough
starts
part.
in,
You
like,
do
the-
mix up both.
She gets into the kitchen, I think, at some point, and then like I don't know, complains about it, and
Yeah.
It's definitely in the show too.
So let's talk a little bit about Kyle's predictions. So he finally made a John Aaron. What's the John Aaron secret prediction? And he says he thinks there's a special kid out there, and
it's
it's a good guess, right?
Yeah, it's not a bad guess.
it's not a bad guess. He's like starting to think about the book and other people.
The book. I even tried to give him like, hey, the book doesn't. There's no way this book relates to a current bastard. But it's not a bad thought.
I guess it's not a bad thought, but it's not relative to the time. Like he's got to think about like I don't even know if he's like thinking who killed John. Like if you thought okay, the Lannisters killed
I think he's
Jon,
sold the Lannisters killed John. I think he's sold on it.
But then why are you not like what are the Lannisters threatened of?
Well, he thinks that
Like
there's a kid
an
that.
old ass fucking grandma.
Well, no, he thinks there's a kid that he found. What Kyle said was he thinks there's a kid that John found that threatens Joffrey's claim, which is true. He didn't necessarily say threatens Joffrey's claim, but he says it puts the Lannisters in danger, or somebody that the Lannisters are against.
He didn't
And
say. Yeah, I guess he did.
He's
say
like
kid.
he's like kind of accidentally true because every single bastard that he meets threatens Joffrey's claim,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
Cersei
not really,
knows
'cause
it.
They're still bastards, but I mean, incestual bastard. There's
But
no
so-
claim.
so is
Nobody has
Joffrey.
a claim. It's
Stannis.
not any of these bastards' claims. It's Renly's claim or
Stannis,
Stannis'
yeah.
claim.
Yeah, but Robert could. What's it called when you make a?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
feel like that's
legitimize
even less of a claim. Like, oh, you were a bastard, but oh, you're cool now. Like, I don't know.
You're cool now.
But he is kind of accidentally right, but I'm not giving it to him.
He's not right. He's so far from. He doesn't even know that Joffrey is incestual.
I
he
know
still thinks
that's
Joffrey's-
why he's not right. But once he figures that out, then what he said is true, right? All these kids are a threat to the Lannisters.
Oh my god! I mean, maybe if we're giving him that fucking credit.
I'm
Obviously,
not
something.
giving it to him. And what was his prediction for what was the what you gave
He
him
thinks
a pointed
Ned's riding
question.
north to get
He's
an
trying to
army.
put the forces together.
What an idiot!
He
said
knows
he's gonna
Ned
try.
dies.
He doesn't say he's going to. He said he's going to try.
So does he know Ned gets beheaded? He can't.
No, I think he just knows he
He
dies.
just knows
Okay.
Ned dies.
Yeah.
That'll actually be cool when Ned actually gets his fucking.
The
head
thing is,
chopped off.
because he knows Ned dies, he's going to be waiting for it, so it's not going to be a big surprise.
Well, I think he thought he was going to die this episode or this chapter.
I forgot that in the books that
you should ask
they
him,
don't
Nick.
actually fight at all. Jamie and Ned, like not even a little bit of sword fighting.
That's true. Jamie dips before anything even happens,
Yeah,
and Jamie's the one that kills Jory in the show too.
yeah, a fucking spear through his mouth.
But I told you guys before, George R. R. Martin says this is one of the scenes he wishes was different in the show. I think the show one's fine.
I think the show it's like probably one of the cooler sword fights.
Yeah.
And like Ned's like fighting, and then someone has to like stab him in the back of the leg so that so that Jamie doesn't lose.
Well, no, I think it was pretty evenly matched. But then when that guy does that, Jamie just like backslaps him, like backhands that guy. Like,
yeah,
come on,
that's true. It
You
is
just-
a cool scene in the show.
It shows how Jamie is kind of honorable. It's like, again, it's not the start of Jamie's redemption arc. But
yeah, but they ruin his fucking character in the show.
what do you mean? At
Dude,
the
at
end?
the end,
I like that he
First of all,
went
he
back.
rapes Cersei. He doesn't like spit in her face basically right after he comes back.
Again, we're inside his head in the books, and we kind of hear him like thinking about how Cersei is like he has the realization that Cersei's fucked up, but he has the same realization in the show, and he's like, I can't help it, I love her anyway. I could see it happening in the books.
There was no doubt in my mind that Jamie was going back to Cersei in the last chapter.
The thing that
Or the last season.
pisses me off about what Jamie did in the show in the last season is, it makes perfect sense if you just make him do it for the kid. Like, be like he thinks Dany is gonna burn King's Landing to a crisp. Sure, maybe he's over Cersei, but Cersei's pregnant with his fucking kid, right? If he goes back for that, I feel like that makes more sense, and it doesn't destroy his redemption arc as much.
That's true.
But he doesn't even mention it. He literally just straight goes back for Cersei. I think that kind of ruins it.
And then he held him in her arms when they died.
Yep. So there's a lot of foreshadowing that they're gonna die together, right? Like they always say, we came into this world together, we're both gonna leave it together. They say that all the time. So people think that it's gonna end something like similarly in the books.
It was just
hopefully
lame
not
that it
by
was
like a stupid
rocks
avalanche
falling on top of him.
And then when Tyrion comes down to see him the next day, there's like a bare spot 20 feet away that they
Yeah.
they were just standing over there. They'd be
Oh,
totally
here they
fine.
are, just laying.
Darn, they could have moved. I think Jamie kills her in the books.
I feel like we're missing something else in this chapter. Oh, here's what I was gonna say. You guys, what does Jamie do after this?
He rides to Castle Rock.
He gets the fuck out of the city because he knows he's fucked. And you're arguing with me the whole time that Jamie isn't afraid of Robert. He's afraid of Robert. He immediately leaves.
You can't give Kyle too much info.
You did. You totally fucking got that.
Sometimes we
I
gotta side with
didn't
Kyle.
know exactly what you guys were talking about. I was like, yeah, Nelson, you're wrong.
I forgot to.
He
Sometimes
is
I just
afraid
like
of
to
Robert
argue with you,
dips.
and
I know.
just
I know.
once I had the numbers, I'm not turning back.
When you do that, it's good because Kyle like 100% takes your side, and then
Yeah. See, you need a little bit of that.
he's fooled.
That's why I'm the talent of this fucking podcast.
Jeff, you know who you get next chapter?
I
Little
didn't
Miss
look
Dany.
ahead. I don't have
Haven't
my
seen
book.
him in a while.
Little Miss Danny.
Daenerys.
Daenerys
My
4.
girl.
Where's
Getting
my
plump.
boy John been?
Getting plump stomach.
He's teaching Sam how to be a man. So the other thing is the only hint of Rhaegar in this chapter kind of like what you guys were saying, R plus that was Jay, or is there a reason he thinks does Rhaegar go to brothels?
It's because he took care of his
Because
bastard.
does Rhaegar have bastards too?
Because Rhaegar has a bastard who is Jon Snow, he thinks.
No, it's not.
I don't think he's legitimate.
They
How
got
the
married under a tree in Dorne.
That's in the show.
We don't know what the fuck happens. It could be a Sharadane and Ned's
How do you-
fucking bastard.
Thank you,
We
Jeff.
don't know
Thank you.
dick.
All right, and with that, we're gonna call it end of this episode.
We don't know a goddamn thing.
You got okay. So I'm gonna agree with you, Jeff, that that's in the show and it could be totally different, but they got that from somewhere, right?
Yeah, I would think.
No, what do you mean?
What's Lyanna's?
got the-
All right, so if they didn't get married, Lyanna was just like, okay, yeah, I'll have let's just fuck and not get married. Like,
How are they
What do you
gonna get married? How do you nullify a freaking marriage that has multiple kids? You can't.
They're
what
dead.
do you mean?
They're not dead yet. Did they
They
kill him
could
yet?
be. They could be.
What do you mean they can't get divorced? King James did that like 14 times.
Especially,
Yeah.
it's really easy to get divorced when they just get their head smashed against the wall by the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just means that Rhaegar wasn't in the fight at the Trident,
I-
which is pretty. I don't know.
Again, you guys know that I'm not even in the R plus L equals J camp, but David and Dan said the reason they got the rights to write the show is because they guessed who John's mom was, and in the show, it turns out that John's mom is Lyanna, and that they got an actual marriage. You would think that on a point so big that it's what sold them the show or bought them the show, that they would get the facts right about it, including the marriage. Is it would be my point, and I think. Like, what's the point if John's not legit?
Yeah, if John's still a bastard, there's no point.
No one's gonna legitimize him.
I think it's just so he has the power to fight the White Walkers and unify the fucking North at least.
The last person that fight the
It doesn't
White
matter.
Walkers was a
The
Stark.
Grand Northern Conspiracy legitimizes Jon Snow, and he's Jon Stark now, so it doesn't matter.
You mean Rob's letter?
Rob's letter, yeah.
That just names him the Lord of Winterfell. I don't think Rob. I guess Rob is a king, so Rob can legitimize Batman. Okay, maybe.
I'm a
Is that-
king. What's the funny quote like? What's Lyanna Terrell? Doesn't she say something fucked up about like, oh, there's so many kings and I'm a fucking king?
Who, Lady Olenna?
Oh, or Lady Olenna.
She does
doesn't
something. The thing that's coming to my mind right now is she's like,
The kings didn't someone say like the king said that? She was like, which king?
oh, maybe.
Yeah, she says something like that.
The thing that I'm thinking right now is
Which king do you serve?
Again, it's from the show, and it's when they're like questioning Sansa about Joffrey, and like, tell us, like, is he good or like blah blah blah. And her first answer is, he's gallant as a lion. And Lady Olenna's like, oh yes, dear, all Lannisters are lions, and when a Tyrell farts, it smells like roses.
She's a goat character.
She is. She's got the two like 7-foot bodyguards, and she doesn't remember their names because they're twins, so she just calls them left and right.
I wonder if they switch sides. They probably switch sides too.
I love it. All right, we're just blabbering now. I'm surprised. I feel like we got to be missing something, but
That's what our fans
they'll let us.
for.
They'll let us know in the comments.
I mean, I read that one thing, and I was like, I can't wait to just hammer you.
I knew it too as soon as I read that. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks everyone who's been commenting on the show. It keeps us motivated.
Go Squad.
We're the Morning Throners.
We're the fucking Morning Throners, and we'll see you guys next time. in
Peace.
Movie 4.
See you guys.